Oh, hello everyone, it's Susie here, Crypto Granny. The date's the 18th of October 2021 and the time in Amsterdam time, the Netherlands time, is 16:54 p.m., 16:54 p.m. In the late afternoon. Sorry I was away last week, but I was trying to get to, it turned out to be a bit of a disaster, I have to say. I was trying to get to Mauritius with my partner for like about, 4 weeks before we went to Australia. And we booked all the flights, we drove to Belgium and everything else, and we thought we had all the codes and all the COVID stuff ready and all this sort of thing. We paid lots of money to get things done, and we even went to Friesland to get things stamped and everything else. Well, lo and behold, we get to the airport to go on Emirates, and, I find out that I can't go because I don't have a QR code, QR code on the app for coming out of the Netherlands. So, we thought, and the thing is, Mauritius didn't actually ask for a QR code. They basically said as long as you had documentation for COVID, you could actually go into Mauritius. But it was actually the airlines that were stopping us from going into Mauritius. So, and this is like about 3 hours before the plane went. So it was like, oh my God. So we didn't know what to do. And then we thought, well, look, we'll take have to book the Sheraton for a night to work out what to do. And, toing and froing with the airlines, and then obviously Mauritius we paid in advance for a month, forward with Mauritius. And, oh, my God, it was just like, just unbelievable. So we had to try and get all our money back without being fined. And then, there was no way we could do anything. So we just decided to come back to Amsterdam. And then we're supposed to have a friend of ours looking after the house here. And, oh, my God. And then we had to obviously a car back from Belgium. And the car, they charged us something like over €300 for a car for a 2-hour drive from Belgium to the Netherlands, which is like about $480 Australian dollars. Like, I just couldn't believe it. So now I've decided, it's just so hard to travel with this COVID business. Like, I haven't been home for 2.5 years to Australia. So now we've just decided to wait in Amsterdam until, we can fly to Australia directly. So now it's a question of, getting visas and all sorts of things. But I guess the thing is the compliance for this COVID situation is just a shocker. I really have to say that. And when you talk to people, no one actually knows the truth about anything. You can ask the supervisor of the airlines, you get a different story to the people that serve you. It's just all over the place. There's no unity. So I hope if anyone's going to travel, please make sure you speak to everyone, like 100 people before you go, because there's always seems to be something stopping you. But anyway, look, sorry for the delay today. I had over 1,000 emails. I missed all my clients. I missed the market, crypto market last week. Doesn't look like a lot has happened, but certainly Bitcoin's gone up a lot, and the Bitcoin, has gone up heaps actually since the last time I saw it. Plus the dominance is around 46.33%, which is a lot. So we'll talk about the cryptocurrency market first, the stats and all that sort of thing, news stories and everything else. I'm sorry if I've missed any news stories because there's been a lot going on even in the last 5 days that I've been away. It's like being away from the market for over a year. And then we'll talk about, obviously funding and trading rates and, what the social media is looking at, and also the derivatives and liquidity on the market and everything else. And then we'll look at other things in the crypto market, and then we'll look at obviously the fiat markets being foreign exchange, interest rates, commodities, government and the equity market, and just what some things are of note that I see as potential risks for all markets as well. So let's start with live coin watch, and at the moment market cap is 2.524 trill. Volume's 87.270 bill, quite high. Liquidity is quite good at 5.368 bill, and Bitcoin dominance is 46.33%. As we speak, Bitcoin's over 62,000. It's at 62,055. Ethereum's at 3787. And I did say like a month ago that Bitcoin would outperform Ethereum, and it certainly has. If you look at the 24-hour trading clock, we see that Bitcoin on a 24-hour trading clock opened at 61,211. The high was 62,624, and currently it's just over 62,000 now. The low was 59,139, and the close on the 24-hour was 61,087, but currently it's over 62,000. It's done quite a lot of volume. Everything you read at the moment is all the whales are holding a lot of Bitcoin, something like 90% of the supply. The Bitcoin Daily Network has done quite a lot of volume in the last week. Apparently one day last week there was 31 billion transactions, which is at all-time highs. Also, we're still hearing other stories about other countries that may make Bitcoin their legal tender, like Zimbabwe, where their currency is worth nothing because of terrible government practices and corruption and this sort of thing. Also, to remind people that even the Afghan women in Afghanistan who were educated, not under the Taliban, but who were educated for the last 20 years, they've been able to escape from Afghanistan using Bitcoin. So let's not forget that cryptocurrency leads to the freedom of everyone, okay? If we have cryptocurrency in the world, it creates levity, equality, and freedom. And that's why I love cryptocurrency so much. The fact that these women, these poor women that now cannot be educated in an archaic, misogynistic structure in Afghanistan, it's beyond words to me, being a woman. Seriously, I cannot believe it. Cannot even be educated anymore. It's just so good that the ones that have been educated are able to get out of Afghanistan and go to other countries where they can be educated and work and everything else. So cryptocurrency in itself is freedom, and it brings equality, and it breaks down the existing fiat structures which seriously don't work. When we look at 7.8 billion people in the world and 4.7 billion are in poverty, the fiat structures themselves don't work, and that's a fact. So also there's talk that Venezuela may accept Bitcoin as well. There's talk that they may accept it for air flights and flying and this sort of thing. The SEC has been in the news of late because they're going to apparently allow the first Bitcoin ETF, and that's clearly what's caused Bitcoin to go up as much as it has, okay? And the first one could be Pro Shares, that obviously have had their documentation in with the SEC for some time. Apparently it's going to be listing on ARCA, which is the equity platform, with the ticker BITO. And this is basically going to give you exposure to Bitcoin futures, which is good. And apparently that'll be starting probably today, I think. Now, the Office of Foreign Asset Control, October, did a report on compliance for crypto assets and virtual assets. And I've sent that to my clients this morning to have a good read of, because it is fairly detailed. Also Backed. Now, remember, Backed is a cryptocurrency platform. They partner with Google, but they've also merged with VPC with an acquisition, and they're actually a public company now in the New York Stock Exchange. And apparently they trade today with a ticker BKKT, which is awesome. Now, also they're partly owned by International Continental Exchange, who have an economic interest in them. So they'll be treated as one of the cryptocurrency equity market holdings, like Coinbase and that sort of thing as well, and MicroStrategy. Now, Evergrande Property, the second largest property developer in China, don't forget they didn't pay their coupons in September to foreign investment holders of their bonds. Apparently there's some coupons being due this Tuesday, tomorrow, on one bonds. And, there's talk that they may not be paid either. So this company, it had a 30-day leeway from September where it didn't pay its bond coupons to the foreign investors. And it looks like it may not pay those coupons again. Now, in fixed interest markets, that is technical default. And this company probably will default, given that it's not paying its bonds to the foreign investors. But it seems to be paying its coupons to the Chinese investors, which is pretty it's pretty crap, I have to say, because the Chinese government said pay your own people but don't pay the foreign investors, which is not good enough, I have to say. It's pretty crap. Now, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, there's been a big fine with Tether and Bitfinex, and we've been aware of this for some time. There was all this argy-bargy between Bitfinex and Tether when Bitcoin was at 4,900 and Bitfinex put out a price of 5,300 to buy Bitcoin. They issued Tether, obviously, and they had to fill a big hole in their balance sheet. Now, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission has fined them 42.5 million, according to what they've said, and they've also fined Bitfinex 1.5 million. They said that they'd fine them because they said untrue and misleading statements and an omission of material facts related to USD Tether. They also said this is what the CFTS said, that they also falsified claims that USD Tether was backed by US dollars 100%. They also said that Bitfinex itself had done illegal transactions, retail transactions, and they were also imposed a fine of $1.5 million. Now, this is a paltry sum given how much Tether and Bitfinex would be making in commissions and everything else. But I don't think this is the last of this, to be perfectly honest, the US Tether story. US Tether is not backed 100% by US dollars, and I do think there'll be more of this story. And we have been selling US Tether all the way, okay? I don't like stable coins. We don't know what they're investing in. There's been allegations that US Tether is also investing in credit bonds with high credit risk. They've also given $1 billion away, allegedly, to Celsius as well, and all sorts of things. So, again, they have credit risk to other companies. And if those companies don't pay, US Tether could be on the hook for companies that don't actually pay that money back. So, again, anyone investing in US Tether is taking on all that credit risk as well, which you don't want to be doing, right? That's for sure. Now, if we go to, let's just go to Mizari and look at the total volume, real volume. US Tether is 23.54 billion. Bitcoin's up at 10 bill. Ethereum is at 5.58 bill. Binance US is 4.76 bill. Doge 2.13 bill. Shiba Inu 2 bill. USDC 1.57 bill. Then you've got Dotted a bill, Solana a bill, Binance and XRP just under a bill each. And the market is very mixed at the moment. When I look at this, it looks like they're buying a lot of shitty coins, I have to say, and tokens, which don't have any foundations behind them or fundamentals, like these memo tokens of Shiba Inu and also Dogecoin. And, obviously they're being pushed up by Elon Musk. I don't know what his idea is here, his ideology. But, this is like pump and dump, and there's nothing behind these things at all, right? And I don't quite understand why he does this consistently. He just wants to, get his name on the board. He must be a big ego or something. The guy has about 50-odd million people on Twitter. So the guy, when he says something, can pack some wedge. And all the retailers just, follow him like like, what can I say, like drones, that have no, ideology of what they should be investing in or anything, right? So let's talk about news now. Now, TradingView is a chart package which I use. I love TradingView. They've raised $298 billion, led by Tiger Global Management. And this charting program, it's very, very good. I really like it. You can create your own algorithms and everything. They've got over 30 million people that use it. And so they're going to expand much more into cryptocurrency technology as well, which is great. Let me just have some coffee, people. Won't be a sec. Always love my coffee. Now, Celsius Network have also raised over $400 billion funding. And you wonder what Celsius needs all this money for. I mean, they borrowed over $1 billion from US Tether, but they've also got extra funding of $400 million. I mean, what are they up to, Celsius? Are they trying to grow their balance sheet even more? Don't forget they're like a Nexo. They lend out against cryptocurrencies, okay? Now, NetTeller is also going into cryptocurrencies where you can move fiat to cryptocurrencies. That's coming up soon. They are a part of PaySafe, which is a great story for them. PaySafe, there is a crypto on here called PaySafe, and I'm just wondering whether it's connected to NetTeller, and that's going up today, and I wouldn't mind having a look at that. There's a couple of cryptos I do want to look at today, which have caught my attention. SOC, ANKR, SOC, and PKR. The two SOC and ANKR are sports platforms like Chiles, which in my mind are no-brainers. And this other one is PKR, which is poker, right? And poker on gaming, play to earn, is a great story, and I love poker, so I want to have a look at that as well. So I'm going to be very busy in the next couple of days so to have a look at some new cryptos for potentially our investment portfolio or our trading portfolios, okay? So also another big company, Zoid Pay, announced that it would launch its own Chrome extension, allowing millions of clients and users to use cryptocurrency, either via eBay or Amazon, or they have 40 million online retailers. Now, all this stuff is huge, right, for crypto. It's going to make crypto even bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Bigger and bigger and bigger. And I do think, we will see alts starting to perform simply because they haven't performed. Bitcoin's high. Maybe the risk is Bitcoin comes off a little bit here, but I think some of these alts should start to perform. There's still some very, very, very good value in alts. Some are extremely cheap. Now, Binance has launched a $1 billion fund to develop Binance Smart Chain even more. I mean, Binance is a huge company. It's a mega story. Honestly, it really is. I believe Binance coin should be a lot higher than 478. I would even buy some more here. I think it should be well over $1,000. It should be higher than Ethereum overall, in my mind. Now, they've also added more compliance people. They've added another fellow from Dubai Financial Services Authority, which is a huge, well-known, Dubai Financial Service Authority is very well-known in sovereign wealth management. This guy will look at international relationships and compliance, and it's a great story for Binance. I mean, CZ has employed heaps of people for compliance, okay, all over the world. And also there's talk that he wants to set up a head office in Ireland, okay, which is a good story for him. Also, Binance also is putting on other exchanges where they provide liquidity for other exchanges. And they put on their fourth exchange called Lord Token, which is a French futures exchange, okay, which is a great story for Binance. So these guys make so much money, it is not funny. Okay, now Polkadot, parachains are ready to launch. Apparently, it's a multi-chain platform. We do invest in Polkadot. It's an amazing story. After years of development, they're ready to finally, reveal these parachains, which are going to, be auctioned and everything else, and they're going to be live on the mainnet by the 11th of November, right? And this is a terrific story for Polkadot. Okay, also one chain integrated with Polkadot. And it brings basically Ethereum virtual machine smart contracts onto one chain for interoperability with Polkadot. Polkadot's an amazing story, I have to say. Now, Coinbase has joined the NFT craze as well. They're going to start an NFT exchange, just like Crypto.com, just like Chiles, which have got an NFT exchange as well, plus Binance, plus FTX. Coinbase have already signed up 1.4 million clients. FTX, which we buy as well, has got an NFT exchange, and that's powered by Solana. So don't forget, anything that's powered by Solana is going to be a lot cheaper. I'd imagine Coinbase, who love Ethereum and Bitcoin, will probably use them, and it's costly to use Ethereum, okay? The fees have not come down at all, people, not at all. And I don't like Coinbase. I think the platform is very unprofessional. It is very retail and very, very unprofessional. Right, CEO of Twitter and Square, Jack Dorsey, has revealed that he's exploring how to build Bitcoin mining system where everyone could could actually mine on that system, via Square, which I think would be absolutely amazing. So if you can come up with this, that's going to be absolutely fantastic, Bitcoin mining, that, you don't need the expensive mining equipment to be able to do it. Now, talking about mining, 35% of US miners are now, mining the hash rate of Bitcoin. Now, when China was doing it, it was about 70%. There's still Chinese miners that are doing it illegally, and the Chinese government is coming down on them seriously, seriously hard. So it looks like the US is going to take over that mining for Bitcoin. Also, Justin Sun has been in the press lately. He's partnered with Sunny Interactive Entertainment to enhance blockchain. And Sunny Entertainment, if you remember, is responsible for PlayStation. So that's a big story for Justin Sun and Tron. This one, TRX is so cheap, it's under the wire, but it's seriously, seriously cheap. Also, Justin Sun acquired NFTs of Digital Zones, and Win, which is part of Justin Sun's coins and tokens, said there's a big announcement coming up soon, which could be interesting. Now, don't forget, Justin Sun is also doing something with BitTorrent and creating a BitTorrent exchange as well, and a smart and a blockchain with BitTorrent and Tron. So keep an eye out for that as well. Chainlink have got new clients. This one's a crypto-backed loans fintech firm called uHolder with Polygon Matic, and this project, is expanding as well. Also, they put on another client called Ethron. They just keep putting on more and more clients, Chainlink. It's a no-brainer. Chile's also put on more clients. They put on Los Angeles Lakers, and they're also now looking at entertainment events and sporting events, and they're looking at things like the World Cup of tennis and the Davis Cup, which is, seriously great. I love Chile's as a story. It's a fantastic story. Okay, when you've got 3.9 billion soccer players in the world out of 7.8, this is just a no-brainer. Now, there was another DeFi hack, and this is why we don't buy DeFi. Apparently, 16 million was stolen from Index Finance. The hacker saw a flaw in the smart contract platform and exploited that. How many times we heard this, people? Seriously, all the time. And, got away with this $16 million. Now, apparently the people into finance, they have identified the hacker, and it turns out this hacker is extremely young, which is not surprising at all. Now, Polygon Matic, there's been great stories about Polygon Matic, and we're invested in this one. It was put on the exchange, a South Korean exchange called Upbit, and that's what was responsible for its bounce from 120 to 150. Apparently, it has now users of over 100 million, and also it has active daily users higher than Ethereum, which is a great story, okay? Now, there's some stories out there that Polygon Matic could get to $300 per unit. I think that's a bit over the top, but I could easily see Polygon seriously getting to $3 or $5 very quickly in the next year, okay? Very, very fast indeed. Now, Hedera Hash Group have are launching a USDC stablecoin via Circle, and that's good for them. That gets them, out there in the cryptocurrency media. Ripple versus the SEC. What is happening here? This thing just keeps going on. And seriously, people, it's just driving me nuts. Fair income. This extension is going to get extended again. It was supposed to finish with the export report on the 12th of November. Now it looks like it's been extended to the 14th of January, 2022. Seriously, it's just, honestly, how long will this thing go? Fair income, I don't know. But it's not going to be good for XRP because, without, the SEC saying something properly, it's going to have a real, down effect on Ripple, which is not great. Now, Ripple have also joined a foundation to create a United Kingdom digital currency, right? And it's called the Pound Foundation. Also, they've partnered with Nelnet, which is a partnership a renewable energy partnership, and it's to reduce carbon, which is fantastic, right? So this is basically a $44 million joint venture fund for clean energy fund, solar energy investments in the US. And this is what Ripple's a part of, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I mean, XRP itself is a clean energy coin. It costs nothing to create or anything, right? Or to trade or anything else. Not like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which use incredible, power because of the miners, right? That have to calculate an algorithm, a mathematical formula to get into the network, right? Civic also is introducing a Civic Pass created for developers for their IDs so they can go into their own layers for permissionless DApp platforms and DEXs and NFTs, which is great for Civic. It's another one that I like very much for identification, global identification. Cardano Emergo, which is their investment arm, has partnered with subsidiaries in Africa, Ardanian Labs, and it's creating and supporting Pan-African venture capitalists and people that are startups, to understand blockchain and this sort of thing. And that's a great initiative by Cardano, okay? Seriously great initiative. Now, don't forget VeChain is going to proof of authority. Number 2, And this is going to be a major upgrade for VeChain. It's a new wave of technology in crypto land or blockchain. And this thing is just better than even proof of stake, okay? It eliminates all those problems that you have in the old blockchain, right? And everything else. And it makes the speed of your transactions even faster and faster, okay? Now, if we go to what the social media is talking about at the moment, if you go to World Wide Web, it's all these tokens, and some of them are probably garbology: Taboo token, Wall Street Games, Shiba Inu, Olympus, Moon River, Spell token, Plant versus Undead. If we go to Lunar Lush, it's Shiba Inu, Stacks, Dogecoin, Dodge, Lon, Mars, Floki, Zcash, Orchard Protocol, Cake Monster, Woo Network, and Joe, okay? If we go to the Greed Fear Index, at the moment it's 78 out of 100, which is greed. Yesterday it was 79, last week it was 71, and last month it was 50. And as I said, the coins I want to have a look at, or tokens, are SOC, Anchor, ANKR, PKR, and SOC. Now, if we go to liquidations in the market on the derivative side, overnight there was about 341.5 million liquidations, and that was Bitcoin, 115 million, Ethereum 97, and the rest were Dodge, XRP, SHIB, and DOT. If we go to the derivatives curve, we find that the SME futures have already done $2 billion in new money on Bitcoin this month. And if we go to the derivatives curve of Bitcoin, it's actually in contango, which means the longer months are higher than the shorter months, okay? And also, if we look at the spot Bitcoin, the spot physical Bitcoin's a bit higher than the October futures of Bitcoin, which is interesting, which means the market is buying more physical Bitcoin than the futures of Bitcoin itself, okay? You could always get a lot of information from the derivatives curves. Now, if you look at the call put positions, there's 432 million call positions on Bitcoin, dollar value, which is a lot, I have to say. That's been increasing. Also, if you look at futures short positions, it's only about over 1,000, okay? If you look at Ethereum, looking at the futures curve, it's less in contango than Bitcoin, so they're more bullish on Bitcoin than they are on Ethereum. Ethereum's futures curve is down about 3 to 4%. And also, if you look at the overall call put position on Ethereum, it's 395 mil in total face value, right, dollar value, which means they're obviously more bullish Bitcoin than Ethereum, right? Now, if you look at futures sold on Ethereum, it's about 185,000. If you look at futures sold on XRP, it's 4.982 mil, and Tron, 280,000. So again, this gives us information to what the wholesale traders are doing. Now, 10-day volatility has actually come down, which is great, because that tells us the risk is coming down in this market. Bitcoin at the moment is around this, 63 for 10-day, ADA 51, XRP 80, Ethereum 60, Binance 73, VET 97, VGX, I don't know what that is, but it's off the scale. The volatility is 1253, which is so high. I've never seen one so high. It's huge. Chile's is 92, Crow is 65. So most of the volatility levels are coming down. If you remember, ADA was a hell of a lot higher volatility than Bitcoin and XRP, but that's come down quite a bit. If we look at the funding on the exchanges and the liquidity, the liquidity is quite good, as I said before, at 5.35 bill. Binance is there at 75 out of 100, 75%, Coinbase 64, FTX 69, Huobi 54, Crypto.com 67. They're the highest, and you should always stick with the highest liquid exchanges, which means they have the most clients and your buy-sell spreads are the narrowest, okay? It's very, very important. If we look at the stats over the last 3 days, they've been buying XRP, which means people have been, closed out of those positions as XRP's gone down. EOS, they've been buying Floki and selling VeChain. If we look at the 7-day, they've been buying, what have they been buying? They've been selling ZEC, 1-inch Lisk, and buying Floki. If you look at the 30 days, they've been buying Atom, Swipe, EOS, and Dragon token. Now, if we look at the funding rates at the moment, we've got some crazy funding rates, right? Don't forget, a positive funding rate means the market's buying, and a negative funding rate means they're selling. If we look at OATB, the Asian exchange, the funding rate is negative 0.176%, which is huge, okay? If we look at XRX, OX, it's down negative 0.1993. These are some of the largest funding rates. If we look at BAND, negative 24%. If we look at SRN, positive 57%. If we look at Uni, positive 16%. If we look at IOTA, negative 20%. If we look at Storage, negative 44%. Interesting. If we look at XRP, it's anything from 0.013 to 8%. Bitcoin, 0.02 to 0.04%. Binance is negative 0.016. Link is 0.02 to 0.05. Litecoin the same. Anchor, ANKR, which has got my interest, is up at positive 14%. Audio's at 6. Flow is at negative 0.208. And Silacoin is up at 0.245 positive. So this gives you an idea of what the market's doing when they don't have the cryptocurrency. If I look at my trading models, bearish is about 29% at the moment. If I look at my trading view, and I want to do some cryptocurrency technicals today, it is quite mixed, and we're getting a mixed performance on our portfolios at the moment. The market's sort of very static on some of the coins that we're buying at the moment, but I do expect to move pretty soon, I have to say. So let's go to, very quickly, the fiat market. Let's talk about that, because there's a lot going on in fiat markets, and I've got to say, interest rates are going higher and higher in yield, people, okay? The US 10-year bond rate is at 1.6% now and going higher. The Aussie 10-year bond rate was up 20 basis points last night, which is a lot, at 1.78%. And the UK 10-year bond rate was up at 1.14%. There is talk that the UK, the Bank of England, will raise rates. Everyone else is starting to raise rates. Interest rates are not good for equity markets, okay? Interest rates going up and corporate debt spreads blowing out and swap spreads blowing out means the prices of corporate debt go down and yield of funding goes up. Not great for equity markets at all, okay? Interest rates are rising very, very fast. Also, some interest rates are still negative in Europe and they're rising higher and higher off a low base, all right? So this is not great for equity markets. And also, if we look at the put-call ratio on equity markets, it's very high, 1.71. So for every put of defense they have, one put of defense, they have... for every $1 of a call position, they have $1.71 of a put position, okay? So fairly high. Now, we look at commodities. Some commodities are through the roof. And this is inflation, people, stagflation. Oil, month on month, WTI, oil is up 15%. Natural gas is up 15%. Heating oil is up 16%. Copper up 11%. Cotton up 15%, aluminium 13%, the transport index up 14%. This is massive. All this is stagflation for the consumer, right? Month on month these are. If you annualize that, you've got to multiply it by 12%. That is huge figures, right? And then you had, the chairman, Jeremy Powell, come out and say, oh my God, inflation's above 5%. And now we're uncomfortable with the Fed. I mean, what a joke. Inflation is probably at 25%. That is the real number. And a US 10-year bond rate should not be at 1.6%, people. No way in the world. I mean, US industrial production came out year on year at only 4.6%. You know, salaries and wages are going down, and yet we've got inflation running at 20%, which is, terrible. Your salary is not, or your wages not even staying up with inflation, right? US yen at the moment is at 114.2 because rates are moving up really high. Aussie to the US is 74.06, so it has bounced since last week. You're starting to see the pound against the US bouncing as well because interest rates in the UK are going up and there's an expected rate rise. So again, this revalues all markets. And, it's going to be interesting to see how crypto goes. It shouldn't really affect crypto because crypto is generally seen as a hedge against inflation. So let's hope the market believes that and it operates that way. And all in, it's a very, very interesting market at the moment. I find it absolutely fascinating. It's nice to be back. Thank you very much. And, don't forget, there's a Wirex thing, Women in Crypto. Please vote for me. I'd really appreciate that, guys and girls. I put that on my Patreon and on my Slack, and the name is Esoteric Trading Solutions, which is the company. Susie Crew And I'm Australia, and I put it on a picture as well. So it'd be really appreciated to vote for me. I won it last year, and it'd be great to win it this year as well. And I really appreciate all your support from my clients. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.